Hi, this is Dr. Tobe Moma inviting you to watch our show on health and wellness with Dr. Tobe. We have some beautiful guests all the way from Madison, Mississippi, Rusty and Michelle Hall. Rusty is a ex-marketer for a big Medtronic company that sells pacemakers, and his wife Michelle is a registered nurse who works at the Baptist hospital system. But why they're coming on the show is they're going to talk about missionary medicine. These two folks do a whole lot of work abroad in Haiti and locally in the Madison-Jackson area in Mississippi. They're going to tell us how the local church can collaborate and bring the gospel to the local community. I'm sure you've never heard anything like this. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. They've been married for 35 years. They have a beautiful family. They have experience with missions. They have experience with raising finances. You don't want to miss it. Look forward to seeing you there. God bless you. Jesus is Lord. Amen. Hi, this is Dr. Tobe. I'm a family physician at the University of Mississippi Medical Center. It's a pleasure to have you on my show today, Health and Wellness with Dr. Tobe. I have two of the most special people I know in the world with me on the set. I moved to Jackson, Mississippi about a year and a half plus ago as a faculty at the university, and my wife got in touch with a lady who was running a clinic in the city of Madison for indigent patients, and she introduced me to her husband, and today it's an honor, it's a privilege to have Rusty, welcome Rusty,
Thank you,
and
Tobe.
Michelle Hall on our show today.
Thank you, Tobe.
And these are a couple who have done a lot of good work for the Lord, and I just wanted to bring them on the show to give us an insight into what they do. I think they're like marketplace missionaries. They do missionary in medicine, but within the marketplace. So I want to start with Rusty. Tell us a little bit about your background, Rusty. I mean, I'm saying to the audience that you had a background in medicine. What do you think I mean by that? What was your affiliation with medicine before you went into But God Ministries, if I may say that?
Well, my affiliation with medicine is my wife was a nurse.
Okay.
And I was in the healthcare industry for about 35 years, Tobe. I was in the healthcare technology side of it. I don't have a clinical degree. I actually have a degree in marketing.
Okay.
But I was with basically two companies over those 35 years in the healthcare technology side.
And your wife said you were a Yankee or something?
I am a Yankee.
I don't know what that means, but
Yeah,
can you explain to me what it means to be a Yankee?
Well, actually, I was born and raised in West Virginia.
Okay.
So we weren't Yankees, but we weren't Southerners either. We kind of rode the fence in between that conflict. But, I was always told when I moved to Louisiana, anybody north of Covington is a Yankee.
Okay.
I guess I would
Baton Rouge.
consider myself a Yankee, at least by Louisiana standards.
Wow. And Michelle, what do you do in the ministry and marketplace as a missionary? What's your affiliation with medicine? Rusty already told us that you're a nurse, so give us a little insight into that.
I'm a RN. I graduated from Charity Hospital School of Nursing in New Orleans and worked right out of school for several years in the hospital, worked primarily in the cardiac step-down unit, and was actually a charge nurse for the unit for quite some time, then directed a wellness center for a little bit for that same facility. But over the years, was a stay-at-home mom for quite a long time. I always laugh and say when your youngest gets married, you can't claim to be a stay-at-home mom anymore.
Okay.
So I was beginning to look for other opportunities to use those skills, and actually came as a volunteer to Caring Hands Ministries, and that's how I got involved with Caring Hands.
Now, you worked for General Electric. Who were you marketing for?
I was 19 years with a company called Medtronic.
Medtronic, right, okay.
Yes, sir.
Which is one of the biggest makers of pacemakers and a lot of other things. But today, tell us what your role is in 2018.
Well, I officially retired from healthcare and thought I was going to take a little less of a role on a daily basis in January of 2015 and joined an organization called But God Ministries, based in Ridgeland, Mississippi. We're an organization that was founded by a gentleman by the name of Stan Buckley, who was a pastor at First Baptist Jackson Church in Jackson. And our mission is basically to build sustainable communities around the world in the name of Jesus Christ.
Wow.
And so we have 3 communities that we're invested in right now, and 2 are in Haiti, and 1 is in the Mississippi Delta in a little town, a precious little town called Jonestown, Mississippi.
Now, your title says operating officer.
Managing director.
Managing
is the
director.
title.
Okay. So in that organization, with Steve as, obviously pioneer, visionary, we're going to come back to Steve. Stan, sorry.
Yep.
What do you try to do in Haiti, for example, for But God Ministries? I really think a lot of people don't know that people have that niche in the ministry. What do you try to do in that part of that part of the world, or even in Jonestown in Mississippi?
Yeah, well, I always say there's two operative words or descriptions in our mission statement. One is Jesus Christ, and so everything that we do is covered under the spiritual umbrella of Jesus Christ. And number 2 is sustainability. So our mission when we go into these communities is not to give them everything that they need from social justice, from a social justice perspective, from food, from housing. It's to teach them how to sustain themselves. So there are 7 key areas that we focus on when we go into any community. The first is spiritual. The second one is physical, and we define that as good access to medical and dental care.
Wow.
As we say in the organization, it's really difficult to have a meaningful conversation with somebody about Jesus Christ if they're diabetic and they're not being treated, or if they have an infected tooth in their head and they need to have it pulled. So we focus on clean water, education. We do economic development. Try to talk to somebody about the love of Jesus Christ that's living in a mud hut with holes in their roof.
Wow.
Jesus didn't want them to live that way.
Wow.
We believe that, and so we try to affect that, and in the process share the love of Jesus Christ.
I mean, because that's what I call a paradigm shift. Because I'm an African, and I know the mentality of the missionaries of the past was handout, was give the natives, give the locals what will help them till they get to know Jesus.
Yes.
But the word empowerment is totally novel. Nobody, and I'm sure people have done this in the past, but in this part of the world, Mississippi, Louisiana, can you talk about what you've achieved over the past few years with that? Because I know you told me that you've actually given some lectures to some of them on how to start businesses, how to, get themselves off the ground financially. So, you go to churches, nobody talks about money. Nobody teaches about finance. It's like a taboo topic. Then you go to Haiti, the poorest country in the northern hemisphere, and you're talking about money. They think you're out of your mind. Am I correct? I mean, what do you think? I mean, it's totally at odds with the normal church paradigm.
Well, it is and it's not in so many ways, because many of the people that come with us to Haiti, and we send about 1,000 people a year to Haiti.
Wow.
They're doctors like yourself, they're attorneys, they're finance specialists, and they go down and help us teach the Haitians the principles of managing their money.
And you have partnerships with universities as well.
We do as well. University of Alabama has been, their Culver House School of Business has been just an incredible partner. They'll send students down twice a year, and we hold entry-level finance and running your own business sessions for entire week.
Wow.
And so out of that, we found a crop of individuals
In Haiti.
in Haiti.
Not in Mississippi, in Haiti. Okay.
Correct. And out of that, we found a crop of individuals and did some microfinance loans. And there's now 7 businesses up and running in Haiti that by the grace of God, they continue to sustain themselves. Now, are they enormously profitable? They're not. But they make money and they employ people. And they give people, they give Haitians a sense of purpose that they heretofore really haven't had. And we give all the glory to God. It's not what we did, it's what He's doing.
Praise God.
I think another interesting story too is the one about the fact that you all have had helped the little community establish a water board, basically a little public utility, and taught them how to read the meters and
Wow.
and figure all that stuff out.
And those watching, I don't know if you know this, but Haiti had an earthquake in 2006. 2010.
Yes,
I think 100,000 people died or something
It
like
was
that.
incredible.
a million.
1 million people died.
Yes.
And we're talking about 2018, and this is going on. I mean, that is, in my book, a turnaround miracle story.
Well, what's really cool also about the story is the fact that when Stan went down there after the earthquake, that's what sort of spurred him on to this mission. And he actually went into the tent city. So the community that he's referring to is made up of people that were living in the tent city. They were city dwellers. And so they, as they moved out of the tent cities, moved out to the sort of really the countryside and had to start over. And so through God providing some housing, instruction, helping with clean water and things like that, it's now a thriving little community out there. People who were previously living in a tent city.
Before I cut, so you said spiritual help, physical help,
H2O, clean water,
water.
education. We have schools. We have 1,200 kids in schools down there. We have 4 schools that have 1,200 kids. Roofs stands for housing. We build not massive houses. We build about a 700 square foot house out of cinder block that cost us $6,000 to build. And economic development, of course, you can have all that stuff, but if you don't have jobs, the unemployment rate in Haiti is approximately 85%. I'm not talking about the employment rate, I'm talking about the unemployment rate. So jobs are important. And these 7 companies that we started are, by the grace of God again, are those that provide jobs. And then the last is sustainable food supply, teaching people to feed themselves.
Wow.
We've created a collaborative of 27 farmers that actually own 90 acres, and they relied on runoff and rain to irrigate. And so if they had a time where there was a drought, they would lose all their crops.
Wow.
So again, churches from the U.S. combined together, brought teams down there, and we've now irrigated, dug a well, irrigated all of those 70 acres, and those farmers now can, in Haiti, you can farm 12 months out of the year.
Wow.
And so their crop production has gone up.
We're going to come back to you because your story is phenomenal, but Michelle's story is just as phenomenal. Tell us about Caring Hands, what the root is, where it started from, how you got involved, and what it does. Because we're just like trying to tell people who this great couple are, because your story is quite amazing. Yeah.
So we moved to Mississippi in 2006 after Katrina. And when I moved up there, I only knew one person, and this person invited me to Bible study at First Baptist Church of Madison, and I started going to Bible study there. First Baptist Church of Madison had a medical mission that had been going on at that time for about 4 years. I want to say they started in 2006. Well, it started in 2006. I became involved in 2010. So 4 years after the mission had been going on, I started volunteering with Caring Hands. And Caring Hands is a free medical, dental, and pharmacy clinic for people who don't have insurance, or who really, even if they have insurance or some assistance, the cost of their medication is such that they could not be compliant. And so we provide free medical, dental, and pharmacy for patients, as you well know, because you're a co-volunteer with me at Caring Hands, for patients who don't have the access to care.
Because you weren't the founder.
No.
So when did it start?
So it started in 2006. There was a nurse practitioner by the name of Susan Montgomery, who she actually started ministering to people within her own congregation who didn't have insurance. They would lose a job and lose their insurance and that sort of a thing. And as the need just became so apparent, they went ahead and decided to start the clinic. And an interesting story about that is that there was a church member who in his 50s was called to go to medical school. He had been a veterinarian prior to that and felt called to medical missions, Dr. Rick Dunbar, and he gifted his old clinic to the Caring Hands Ministry, and they renovated it and made it a people clinic. Yeah.
Oh, his old man. Wow.
So it started in his old veterinary clinic, which was on the campus of First Baptist Madison.
Wow.
And the ministry was there until 2010, at which time there was an expansion at First Baptist Madison, and then now it is now on the Pine Lake Madison campus in Gluckstadt, Mississippi.
What's your role? Like Rusty is managing director. What's your role at Caring Hands? I know you have several hats, and I don't even know if there's a title.
Yeah, I don't know that I really have a title. My official title is volunteer coordinator.
Wow.
So, and what I do is it's my job obviously to recruit and to staff the clinic, but we also we do training, we do
you do an
charge
awesome
nurse type things.
But people don't. Let me pull this out of the hat for those of you watching. I've been there. This is a 10 to 12 room clinic with a pharmacist and dental chairs with volunteer dentists and doctors, with phlebotomists who draw blood and nurses who assist the doctors, all on site. The only thing you don't have probably is a physical therapy and
It's
I don't know,
extensive.
psychiatry maybe. But really, we have surgeons come there. We have family physicians. We have dentists. We have internists, nurse practitioners, PAs. And the greatest thing for me is it's a one-stop shop. That patient who comes in with a need can see the doctor, get his medicine without paying a penny.
Right.
That is, I don't want to use the word unbelievable, but that is amazing.
But you hit the nail on the head about what the success of the clinic is. The success of the clinic is the fact that there are people who are motivated out of compassion and love for Jesus Christ that come and volunteer and give their time. But there's no way we could do it without the volunteer man hours. There's no value that we can put on that. But the second beauty of that is that it's not just one church. It's multiple churches, and sometimes even people who are not involved with a church who come. And so we not only have ministry to our patients, but we also have ministry to some volunteers who may not have a relationship with Jesus Christ. And so you see the body of Christ at work. That's, to me, that's
Susan
a beautiful
right
thing.
now?
Susan actually is practicing. She has her own clinic in Gluckstadt, Madison area.
Okay,
She does.
okay.
She was
Wow.
involved from quite some time after the transition,
Okay.
but then her practice just became very busy, and she
Okay.
just is. Yeah, she's doing that now.
Interesting. Wow,
Yeah.
amazing. Tell me how you get the medicines, because to me this is the biggest miracle. We're talking of state-of-the-art, cutting-edge medications that work, not some old, throwaway, used and dumped medication. These are good medications that work very well in people for heart attacks, for diabetes, for arthritis. We did a mission trip to Sierra Leone and we came and saw the whole storage facility. And you guys had everything anybody who has a clinic needs. Sphygmanometers, blood pressure, temperature. You had a whole lot. How do you recruit those equipment and medications? Are they just volunteered by the pharmaceuticals or?
No, most of the pharmaceuticals, and we do about 250 to 300 prescriptions a month, and so most of that medication is purchased with the financial support of the 5 main partner churches, that being Pine Lake Madison, First Baptist Madison, Broadmoor Baptist Church, Highland Colony Church, and Ridgecrest Baptist Church. So they lend financial support. But our pharmacy bill runs somewhere around $2,000 a month. So we purchase those medications. I have a pharmacist in charge, Tracy Kinsey, who is a whiz when it comes to making sure that we are getting every medication that we can for the dollar. And she's done a fantastic job with that. But we purchase those medications from wholesalers, from pharmaceutical wholesalers. And then additionally, we purchase insulins from the budget as well, but we purchase insulin and things like that. We do get some things donated from local physicians who, if they have excess or insulins that they're not using, that they'll donate to us.
You realize $2,000 is what some patients spend daily on their medications.
Right.
So it's amazing.
Right.
And then last but not the least, you have a contract with somebody who does your laboratory tests?
No, that is actually Baptist Hospital in
Right.
Jackson actually has a strong outreach program that part of what they do, and I think they do it as part of their Christian healing ministry, is that they believe in giving back to the community. And so ours and several other clinics in the state of Mississippi that they will run the lab work for. And so they do all the lab work for our patients free of charge.
Wow.
You were talking about equipment, though, and I do have to just throw this in there. One of the interesting things I think is that sometimes I'll think, well, we really need a new blood pressure cuff, or we really need this or that. It's amazing. God hears those whispered prayers, and things will just show up. Things just show
And I forgot
up.
to mention, you have counselors at the clinic who actually pray for patients.
Yes.
And even counsel those patients.
Yeah, and they're not licensed counselors,
Of
and so we
course,
kind of are a
right.
little hesitant to use it. I call them the E team. They're the evangelism, encouragement,
Okay.
empowerment kind of team.
Right.
And yes, they do that. All of our patients, when they first come to clinic, we take what we call spiritual vital signs on them. We find out whether or not they own a Bible. Do they attend a church regularly? Do they have a relationship with Jesus Christ? Is there something we can pray for them about? And then our hope is that as time goes on, that we spend time to invest in those relationships, follow up with those people. With those
And you see
prayers
about
that we've
40
offered.
to 60 every month. I know it's a once-a-month clinic.
Yes,
It's about 40 to 60.
40 to 60
Wow.
months.
praise
We've been
God.
averaging in the mid-50s.
Wow. Wow.
We sure have.
We give God the glory.
We do.
So, Rusty, what's going on in Jonestown? Give us a snapshot of what God... Is it Jonestown?
It is.
Okay. Some people have never heard of Jonestown. You might want to just describe the demographics of this town.
Jonestown is a town that I didn't know exists. Of course, I'm not originally from Mississippi, nor did Stan when we set out to try to find where God wanted us to plant our initial camp in Mississippi. We knew that we wanted to do something in Mississippi. So to answer your question, Jonestown is a great little town of about 2,000 inhabitants, kind of in between Clarksdale and Batesville, Mississippi. Deep in the Mississippi Delta, North Mississippi, but deep in the Mississippi Delta. Sort of a clump of trees in the middle of a cotton field.
So what is But God Ministries doing there? I mean, I know it's work in progress, but you can talk to my visionaries. They can see things that no one can see. They're watching right now.
Yeah, well, I would say that, the first thing that we've done and what I think differentiates us maybe from some other ministries is we put people in the community that we work in. We have 3 full-time employees that are employees of our ministry that live there and work there every day in Jonestown. And so the first thing that we have to do when anybody comes into a community is build relationships. And we have to build trust. And so our frontline people, Kelly, Linda, and Casey, are doing that on a daily basis. And then we have to show people that we're serious. So we built, as our first investment into that community, for the lack of a better description, a 6,000 square foot lodge that will sleep 40 people. It has a kitchen. It's the home of our administrative offices there. But we also host short-term mission teams, just like we do in Haiti, in Jonestown. Last year was our first year of hosting those teams, and we had about 330 people come to Jonestown and serve the community of Jonestown in various ways. We've opened up a dental clinic there.
Wow.
It took us about a year to get everything together. It was a cooperative effort with the Mississippi Department of Health. So we've got state and local officials helping us, and combined with our organization, a non-profit faith-based organization. And so we open a free clinic there every Friday, and that is totally staffed by volunteers, dentists, hygienists, and dental assistants. We've opened what we call our Life Center there. We signed a long-term lease with the city on an abandoned bank building that was there. And that Life Center is sort of the resource center for the community to come to. It's the beginning seed, if you will, Toby, for our vision of a larger community center where it would have a recreational area, a basketball court, a volleyball court, places for people to come and do sewing and crafts and have meetings. But this is the first start, and what we have there is anybody that wants to come and see the dentist, they come to the Life Center. They get an appointment through the Life Center. We have a diploma program for people that may not have finished high school. They can come there free of charge, get their diploma, not a GED, but a diploma from a private school called New Summit in Mississippi. We have a law clinic for people that have legal issues, Social Security concerns, succession, title concerns. University of Mississippi provides us with attorneys and students to come there and counsel with these folks. So we're investing into that community and at the same time sharing the love of Jesus Christ.
And this is a town of maybe 10,000.
No. It's a town of, it's about 2,000.
I mean, I'm just trying to paint the picture.
Yes. It's a small town.
Yeah, I mean, this is amazing. You're pouring into a town of 2,000, which is, I think, one of the poorest communities in the state of Mississippi.
Coahoma County, where this community is located, is the second poorest county in the poorest state in the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's what I call missionary medicine. You see, we can sit here all day and pontificate about, church denominations and ecumenicalism, and we can pontificate about, who's got the largest church. But what Michelle and Rusty are doing in my book is missionary medicine. People who have taken medicine out of just the offices, people who have taken the church just out of the walls of the church and have become the church to their local community. And I think there's a whole lot more they have to share with us. I mean, a marketer and a nurse, they definitely have a whole lot to tell us. So I don't want you to miss the next show. We're going to talk to them about their journey as a couple, their journey as parents, their financial support. I mean, doing this is not free. Somebody is paying the bill, and God is the source. And they're going to expand on how they got to where they are through the saving grace and faith they had in God. And we're going to see God turn lives around through them. So I don't want you to miss the next 3 shows. We're going to be talking to Rusty and Michelle Hall for the next 3 sessions. You don't want to miss it. So this is Dr. Tobe Moma telling you, Jesus is Lord. Look forward to seeing you on the next show. God bless you.